Hey scholars, today you're going to be listening to a story called Trombone Shorty. I'm going to give you just a little brief synopsis of what this book is going to be about. Hailing from the Tremaine neighborhood in New Orleans, Troy, Trombone Shorty, Andrews got his nickname by wielding a trombone twice as long as he was high. A prodigy, he was leading his own band by age 6, and today, this Grammy-nominated artist headlines the legendary New Orleans Jazz Fest. Along with esteemed illustrator Brian Collier, Andrews has created a lively picture book autobiography about how he followed his dream of becoming a musician despite the odds until he reached international stardom. So this book is written by Troy Trombone Shorty. His name is Troy Andrews, and it is illustrated by Brian Collier. This book was a 2016 Caldecott Honor Book and a 2016 Coretta Scott King Illustration Award winner. So you're going to be listening to the story. It's being read by Angela Bassett via Storyline Online. So go ahead, get comfy, get cozy, and get ready to listen to Trombone Shorty.
Welcome to Storyline Online, brought to you by the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. I'm Angela Bassett, and today I'm reading Trombone Shorty, written by Troy Andrews and illustrated by Brian Collier. Where you at? Where you at? We have our own way of living down here in New Orleans, and our own way of talking, too. And that's what we like to say when we want to tell a friend, hello. So, where you at? Lots of kids have nicknames, but I want to tell you the story of how I got mine. Just like when you listen to your favorite song. Let's start at the beginning, because this is a story about music. But before you can understand how much music means to me, you have to know how important it is to my hometown, my greatest inspiration. I grew up in a neighborhood in New Orleans called Tremaine. Any time of day or night, you could hear music floating in the air. And there was music in my house, too. My big brother, James, played the trumpet so loud, you could hear him halfway across town. He was the leader of his own band, and my friends and I would pretend to be in the band, too. Follow me, James would say. There's one time every year that's more exciting than any other. Mardi Gras. Parades fill the streets, and beaded necklaces are thrown through the air to the crowd. I love the brass bands with their own trumpets, trombones, saxophones, and the biggest brass instrument of them all, the tuba, which rested over the musician's head like an elephant's trunk. Where you at? Where you at? The musicians would call. All day long, I could see brass bands parade by my house while my neighbors danced along. I loved these parades during Mardi Gras because they made everyone forget about their troubles for a little while. People didn't have a lot of money in Tremaine, but we always had a lot of music. I listened to all these sounds and mixed them together, just like how we make our food. We take one big pot and throw in sausage, crab, shrimp, chicken, vegetables, rice, whatever's in the kitchen, and stir it all together and let it cook. When it's done, it's the most delicious taste you've ever tried. We call it gumbo, and that's what I wanted my music to sound like. Different styles combined to create my own musical gumbo. But first, I needed an instrument. The great thing about music is that you don't even need a real instrument to play. So my friends and I decided to make our own. We might have sounded different from the real brass bands, but we felt like the greatest musicians of Tremaine. We were making music, and that's all that mattered. Then one day, I found a broken trombone that looked too beaten up to make music anymore. It didn't sound perfect, but finally, with a real instrument in my hand, I was ready to play. The next time the parade went by my house, I grabbed that trombone and headed out into the street. My brother James noticed me playing along and smiled proudly. "Trombone Shorty," he called out, because the instrument was twice my size. Where you at? From that day on, everyone called me Trombone Shorty. I took that trombone everywhere I went and never stopped playing. I was so small that sometimes I fell right over to the ground because it was so heavy. But I always got back up and I learned to hold it up high. I listened to my brother play songs over and over, and I taught myself those songs too. I practiced day and night, and sometimes I fell asleep with my trombone in my hands. One day, my mom surprised me with tickets to the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, the best and biggest music festival in town. We went to see Bo Diddley, who my mom said was one of the most important musicians of all time. As I watched him on stage, I raised my trombone to my lips and started to play along. He stopped his band in the middle of the song and asked the crowd, "Who's that playing out there?" Everyone started pointing, but Bo Diddley couldn't see me because I was the smallest one in the place. So my mom held me up in the air and said, "That's my son, Trombone Shorty." "Well, Trombone Shorty, come on up here," Bo Diddley said. The crowd passed me overhead until I was standing on stage next to Bo Diddley himself. I walked right up to the microphone and held my trombone high up in the air, ready to blow. "What do you want to play?" Bo Diddley asked. "Follow me," I said. After I played with Bo Diddley, I knew I was ready to have my own band. I got my friends together, and we called ourselves the 5 o'clock band, because that was the time we went out to play each day after finishing our homework. We played all around New Orleans. I practiced and practiced, and soon my brother James asked me to join his band. When people wondered who the kid in his band was, he proudly said, "That's my little brother, Trombone Shorty. Where you at?" And now I have my own band called Trombone Shorty and Orleans Avenue, named after a street in Tremay. I've played all around the world, but I always come back to New Orleans. And when I'm home, I make sure to keep my eyes on the younger musicians in town and help them out, just like my brother did for me. Today I play at the same New Orleans Jazz Festival where I once played with Bo Diddley. And when the performance ends, I lead a parade of musicians around, just like I used to do in the streets of Tremay with my friends. Where you at? Where you at? I still keep my trombone in my hands, and I will never let it go. I love this book because from a simple neighborhood that may not have a lot, you can have such a big impact on the world. You can travel the world, and you can always come home and be an inspiration to your own neighborhood. In New Orleans, there's no place in the world quite like it. If you get a chance to go there, the music, it inspires you. And the food, woo, there's not enough hours in the day to try all the delicious cuisine that they have to offer. And the people, no matter if they're black or white, rich or poor, they always have a way at for one another. So thank you, Trombone Shorty. Thank you for watching Storyline Online. Make sure to check out all our stories. Keep watching and keep reading.
Okay, scholars, so a couple things. One, that book is amazing. Two, I included a link to the author's website so you can go check him out. I also included a link to the illustrator's website so you can go check out what other books that he's illustrated. I also included a link so you can listen to Bo Diddley if you wanted to do that. And as always, the Padlet link is also there, so please click that so you can answer the question. Make sure that you write your name in the top and just start typing your answer in. All right, guys, any questions, you know how to reach me. See ya.